Hello everybody, welcome to the weekend. As you know, the weekend is where we look at certain topics, or we open crystals, or we find interesting things to talk about, bring in from the community what you're saying about stuff, what you feel about things, and of course, there's no right answer, no wrong answer, or maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Let's have a look at it. One particular topic at the moment that seems to be springing up, especially after Wheel of Fate, is the inclusive, exclusive nature to it. Also, the removal or sort of removal of the selector, which is something that only spenders can actually get. So you kind of feel a bit, well, like you're losing out as a non-spender accessing something that people will be spending quite heavily on, the Human Torch situation of the July 4th deal. But getting back on track, to be have a difference between spending or non-spending is, I'd say, getting to things quicker. Time. Time is a big factor that if you spend, you actually gain more time back. That seems very strange, doesn't it? But that's very much it. To get certain things before a lot of other people, you have to spend. We're talking about stuff like, I'm this weekend, fingers crossed, going to get my third 7-star rank 4, right, as a non-spending player. In December, if you spent $215,000, you were able to get access to that as a kind of like a new to access type thing. That seems incredibly excessive. And one thing that's always annoyed me as a free-to-play player, as I made that switch a long time ago, 4 years non-spending, and of course doing that switch meant that all my 7-star roster was accumulated for free. At that particular time, 4 years ago, there were no 7 stars. So all of that I've got in my roster at the moment, all these 7 stars which you see on screen right now, all of those were accumulated for free, including all the Deathless ones, which I think I worked pretty hard to get. It looks like obviously getting some of the idols is more difficult to get because you've got to work double hard. Anyway, I digress. The Summoner Sigil is something that has got stuff like the Arena Express mode and increased inventory, which of course are things from a spending aspect you need to spend in order to get. But I guess in some ways it might feel a little bit unfair to say that Kabam's ignoring free-to-play players. There are still options available for those that don't spend in order to grab, say, a large amount of units. And let's face it, units matter. Like, let's go back in time to the facts. Okay, the facts are back on Cyber Weekend deals called the Hunter's Market, especially with a Valiant player, you had access to get a 7-star version of Craven, which of course is a rare champion to get because I think at the time he wasn't released as a 7-star. And Kabam do this quite regularly. In the past, I don't think they did it to this kind of degree that if you were investing a high amount of units that you'd also get something back as a result. Apart from, of course, all the important things. And one of the important things as a non-spending player is getting access to what would be like, I don't know, a 7-star from the previous year. It's just that, of course, you've got to work hard for it. And, of course, you've got to spend upwards of 20,000+ units in order to do so at the same time. So it's really difficult to say that Kabam don't allow access for free-to-play players for stuff. It's just they take your time. For me, time is probably one of the biggest factors, like whatever it is. I'm sure some people will disagree with that, and that's fine. But for me, my time is very important. There are things that I want to achieve with my life. A lot of it has been lost to Marvel Contest of Champions. But then the good thing from it is that this community, like my community, the Marvel Contest of Champions, all of us as a community, wouldn't have happened if this game didn't happen. But anyway, I digress. The extent of units that you can farm is a lot. And it's enough. I've done it. I did it between 2023 and 2024. And there's plenty of videos from myself about how to do that. I can't do that as much nowadays. And that's because I've had, for the last 2 years, like full-time jobs. Actually, no, longer than that. But I've tried to keep a full-time job and kind of like be able to just spin a lot of plates at the same time. But I would like to farm units more. I mean, King of Arena, who we featured a lot on the channel, has been able to farm an extensive amount of units, proving the point of the amount that you could get, and also then what that could be applied to in order to top up your account. It's not an ideal way about doing it, and yes, it is the fact that you lose your time, but it is possible. Of course, the other flip side to that is the extensive and just in-your-face deals that just seem to be coming out left, right, and centre. This is one thing that I really don't like about, say, the last year and the sagas and stuff like that, is deals. Like, all these deals are just, like, constantly thrusted at your face. Yeah, the Omega Days based deal what was that called? I can't remember what that was actually called, but that was obviously like a lot of spending of units, and that was annoying as well, because it was like, just, hey, we want you to, Kabam's narrative is like, we want to like you to part with your units. I just don't like that kind of aggressive monetization with stuff. But unfortunately, and this is the facts, and people won't like this, but here's the facts. Netmarble are the operating company of Kabam. They have a very kind of weird track record when it comes to the extent of pay-to-win based aspects of their games. There's also the big aspect of, hey, Marvel Contest of Champions is one of the leading providers of revenue of that company. There's also the fact, if you didn't know already, that, you know, previously they were on about 8% of the revenue of Netmarble, with of course solo level Arise doing 13%. That has now shrunk in most recent times. This is the Q1 performance, with now Marvel Contest of Champions back up at that #1 earning spot for the company. There are other games at Netmarble that kind of like draw them in, but they're kind of like, a lot of people at times get confused with this, oh, Kabam are after profits. It's not them that's setting that. This is the expectation set by Netmarble. And if you're like, well, Kabam, can they stop earning profits? Like, stop earning quite so much money and stuff? Said no company ever. Like, if you've not lived in how the world works, then I'm sorry you don't know how it goes. That is how it goes. Companies... Oh, a company doesn't want to make money, or doesn't want to make profits, or with the shareholders don't want to make money for their shareholders. Said no company ever. I mean, Netmarble Group, I mean, look at the share price. Share price has gone up. It's actually recovered since a bit of a dip in what seemed to be like an early 2025, and April is now kind of like back up to like the 58 mark, which it's sort of close to, like the 2024 time. So they're doing well for themselves. I guess with all these kind of like monetization and deals that are thrusted in people's faces, it's definitely realistic and logical to say that, you know, it's turning a little bit more free to play. No, it's turning a bit play to win a bit. I guess that in terms of accessing rare champions which are decent defenders, accessing rare champions that are, you know, good. Here's a good example. Like, I really wanted to get a 7-star Human Torch, but it is just not possible. It's just not. Number one, I don't have the units at the moment. Neither did I have the time to farm what could be 36,000 units I might need. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe that's on me for not farming that as a free-to-play player. I don't know. Do you know what? I don't care, right? I know the stuff I want in-game. I don't know if I'll ever get them, but I'm not going to allow the game to kind of like that aspect of like, I must do that, because that falls into like a very, obsessive compulsive type element to the game. It's unhealthy. Addiction as well, it kind of falls into that, because there's RNG and gambling based elements. So I just want to enjoy the game how I want to enjoy it. And when I'm making videos as well, I'm covering topics and doing things that I personally want to do, rather than kind of being frustrated around, I'm not doing this, I should be doing this, why haven't you done that, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's not what gaming's about, and that you've got to have that fine line of balance, and especially not parting with large amounts of money for this. I'm staying non-spending. So on the point of money and like earning potential, we all know Marvel Rivals pulled in a lot of money. I mean, rumors were that the game pulled in about $136 million or something in a very short space of time, whether or not it was like up to the Q24 earnings like side of things. It may be a lot more, I don't know. Even now they probably earned like a lot of money. The thing that excites me about the future of Marvel games in general, though, and of course just tilting away to a different subject, Marvel Token Fighting Souls, as you know, is going to be a PS5 and PC kind of crossover type game. It's still out, the jury's out on how much it will cost. Like, if it's on PlayStation and Sony, will they be charging $80 for that particular game, or will it be a free-to-play game? I don't think it'll be a free-to-play game, but if they are doing it from a structure I think they're going to do it, then at least they're going to have like a lot of people interested. They'll put their money down first off. They may offer in-game skins, which again, I'm cool with that model. And these are the characters. And hopefully in the future they can add more characters. Marvel Rivals only has battle passes, skins, and that's it. There's no pay-to-win aspects, which I think is good. It is really good what they offer. And I hope that Marvel Token Fighting Souls has exactly the same type of structure as that. and not this kind of like, hey, new character, you need to buy it in order to do something, or you need to buy something in order to grab something like a battle pass of some description. They may do a battle pass. That again would be fine. It's just what they can actually offer within that battle pass. We're still a year away from Marvel Token Fighting Souls being released, so we'll have to see what the future holds with that. Finally, thanks to everybody that financially props up the game. I don't, but if you want to do that, then that's fine. It, of course, keeps the game running. We would not have a community if there was no monetization around Marvel Contest of Champions, right? Over the years, has that model become antiquated compared with other games? Yes, of course it has. But there are options if you're a non-spending player. I think this is a very good point right here from Zacharias, who says, I literally do it every week, I think referring to like Arena. I'm sitting on 11k units a month right now after using all my units bar 2k on HOF. Last year I grinded enough units to max out a J4 and July 4th deals, Banquet and a lot of Cyber Weekend. It's tedious at times, but it's the price you pay when you want to vaguely keep up with this game. I think that's probably one of the, that's kind of the best point. Unfortunately, Kabam aren't going to make it easier for free to play. There are some stuff that I want to see improved. And not everybody has the time. You know, not everybody has the time. Like, Salmiakas says, I have a full-time job. Same with me. Like, I don't, and obviously running this channel, there's another business I'm working on. We've got a house remodel. There's stuff going on. Like, I just don't get enough time as I would like. Otherwise, I would farm more units, or I'd be playing a lot of more games. I actually take Saturday nights off to actually play other games. So, there's a lot of things you have to always consider what you're able to achieve as a non-spending player. But everything that I have done, and I've 100%ed Epic of Pain, I'm doing Valiant difficulty on a monthly basis, Paragon Gauntlet, I'm nearly done with 9.2. And by the way, I remember now why I held back on 9.2, and that is because of the offer, the 10k offer. Because you have to be, this is another thing, top tip for anybody that's free to play, you have to be shrewd, you have to be frugal. And how do you be shrewd and how do you be frugal? Well, you have a look at what the offer was at the end of 9.2. Do you remember? You may not. Okay, it was good. For 10k units compared with other stuff, it's good. Why did I not go and blast through 9.2? Well, look, July 4th deals come round, 10,000 units. As a Valiant player, am I going to get access to a rank 4 7-star? If the answer is yes, then that's fine. I might go and grab that offer. If the answer is no, then I go and do this. And I get that. So, look, you have to be shrewd. You have to be frugal. You have to be careful with your units. And also think about when you've got the time. If you've got 10,000 to 18,000 units right now, make that decision to either go, is this going in July 4th deals? Or am I saving it to Cyber Weekend or Banquet event when you'll see depreciation in the game? So always be careful with that. Either way, interesting points were raised by lots of different people in that particular thread. It was interesting to read, and especially where people are at with stuff. For me, it's always been events and things need to be inclusive rather than exclusive, and that basically means that be fair, Kabam. Maybe allow more people to kind of go in to play certain modes. That 7-star restriction in Wheel of Fate is ass and feels very annoying, especially if you've got a 6-star version and not a 7-star version. And of course, you're always catching up if you're free to play. So look at the game how you want to enjoy it. And please just try and find a way to enjoy the game. You know, I enjoy the game, but I know there's restrictions and I know there's issues and there's things that I want to see. I want my time saved. I want quality of life improvements. I want AI to be fixed. There's a lot of stuff that Kabam need to deal with, and especially around a very spendy orientated game. But what are your thoughts, feelings around the state of free-to-play versus spenders, deals, monetization around the game, and other stuff like that? Have your say, as always, in the comments.